It is human nature to be drawn to people who are similar to you. If you love sports, you want to find people who like sports. If you love cars, you want to find people who like cars. If you're a CEO of a company, you want to be around other CEOs more than you want to be around employees. So, how does a leader assist or even connect with men who have very different interests than their own interests? This is a great question, and it's one that really needs to be considered by all leaders. Having challenges with assisting and connecting with those who are different than you is very real for virtually everyone who's serving in a leadership role. And so here are some things that I want to just encourage us to remember today. First of all, you will not be able to connect on a personal level with everyone. You just need to take that pressure and burden off of yourself. Not everyone you lead has to be your best friend. And you don't have to be their best friend either. It is okay to be different than other people. The National Post recently reported the studies of a scientist who has proven that human beings can handle no more than 150 friendships at a given time. And only about 5 people can be in our closest inner circle. When you think about the number of connections you have in your family, your work, neighborhood, and church, you can see how there's only so much space for connecting with people on a deeply personal level. The second thing to remember is that the best leaders get to know enough about people that they know who people should be connected to. For example, you may know a man who has gone through the healing after a divorce. Now, when you come across another man who's experiencing a divorce, you can connect those two men together. A leader does not have to connect with every single person himself, but he does want to help every person be connected with someone. Third, examine the diversity of your leadership team. If all of the members of your leadership team share the exact same interests as you do, that may not be a good thing, because it means that there are many men in your church whose interests may not be represented on your leadership team or in the activities that you're trying to plan in your ministry to men. What bonds your leadership team together should be the mission that you're working towards, not necessarily the interests that you have in common. So seek to diversify the interests that are represented by your team. The fourth thing that you need to remember as a leader is that you are here to serve the men, not for the men to fall in line with your interests. You need to get to know the interests of the men in your church and line them up with the things that are important to Jesus. If you're having a regular sports night, but none of the men in your church like sports, then why are you doing it? Fifth, while you're here to serve the men, it's also so important that you need to lead yourself. My friend Steve Brown has written an excellent book on leading yourself. I highly recommend it. And while your ministry efforts are about leading the men, you also need to build into your own life the ability to connect with the things that energize you and bring life to you as a leader. Don't be discouraged by the differences that you have with other men who are a part of your church and community. Celebrate these differences. Seek to have something that will help your ministry, but not necessarily you, connect with every single man.